Are you serious? Get a cup of coffee. Are you serious? What? Well, let's go right to the word of the Lord. I've got to go right now. Will you go with me to Revelation chapter 8? What is it that NASA knows that they're not sharing? And what does the word of the Lord say is coming? And the Bible says in Revelation chapter 8, and when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half hour. And I saw 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having the golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there was voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, as it were a great mountain, burning with fire, and was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And a third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And a third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, the third part of the moon, third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened. And the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels, which are yet to sound. Folks, the earth is going to go through a time of almost inhabitable, apocalyptic situation, and you don't want to be left behind. You do not want to deal with the wrath of God that will be poured out upon the inhabitants of the earth. That 7th seal breaks. Literally, folks, all hell will break loose, and that's not an exaggeration. And there will be a time like never seen upon the earth before. What needs to be done now, and that is, people need to stop and recognize that the Bible's prophecies are coming to pass at an exponential pace, and the soon coming King will come for his bride. And are you ready? Look at the apocalyptic signs. I mean, if you don't even want to talk about Bible prophecy, and if you don't want to talk about Jerusalem and Israel and the formation of Israel as a nation and the unification of Jerusalem in 67, in 1948, Israel became a nation. 67, the unification of Jerusalem. If you don't want to talk about all the things going on among mankind, which certainly should wake us all up to where we're at in the prophetic timeline. Just look at the sun, CMEs, and the holes in the magnetosphere, and take a look at what's happening on the earth. The earthquakes in various and divers places, the diseases and the plagues, the droughts and the famine, the sinkholes and the hurricanes, the tornadoes and the apocalyptic typhoons, rogue waves, tsunamis, fires raging out of control, extreme weather conditions. I mean, if you didn't even... And now the question is, what is it that NASA knows? What's coming? They can see it. The Bible prophesied it's coming. And now God even allowed us to have technology to see it coming. And yet man, instead of falling on his face, repenting, is trying to figure out a way to either climb into Mars or climb up into the moon. It's the spirit of Nimrod, that mighty hunter, the Tower of Babel. We're trying to create a transhumanoid being that could live like an immortal. Oh, man is deceived, trying to get around the prophecies of God that he cannot, he shall not, and he will not succeed. Time is running out. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Be born again. Get saved. We're in the last days.